Hey there, welcome to 2 for Tuesday. I'm Mo McClanahan and I am the Director of Education and Training here at the Safe Surfing Foundation. I am also a high-tech crime specialist with the National White Collar Crime, and recently I retired from law enforcement where I spent the last 8.5 years working internet crimes against children. We have brought to you 2 for Tuesday in an attempt to really help continue to educate parents and children on the dangers of the internet and leave you with tips that you can apply tonight after the broadcast in ways to better safeguard your kids. And we've been talking about a range of topics, especially since COVID, ranging from, the issued Chromebooks from the school to privacy settings to gaming online. And tonight, I've actually covered this topic in a post earlier in the year, reference to when it's safe to keep secrets and when it's safe not to keep secrets. And really, let's just talk about what's been in the news the last couple of days. And if you haven't caught these articles or these news updates, that 2 teenage girls have been located in the last 4 to 5 days, reference to meeting an adult off of the internet. The first case, she actually was communicating with him through her school-issued device. And we have several different broadcast episodes where you can go back and watch, either through our IGTV or through our YouTube, which I will drop a link down in the comments after this broadcast, where I touched on different concerns and how you as a parent can still have a little bit more control when it comes to school-based Chromebooks or school-issued electronics, whatever that might be, and that you should make sure that you know what exactly they're monitoring. And if you can place or install another monitoring app on that device and really take back control in your own home when it comes to protecting your kids. So with that first case, thankfully she was located and she is safe now, and the suspect ultimately took his life after shooting at law enforcement. And then the second girl that was located recently, she actually was reported missing because she didn't show up to school and she didn't make it to a game, a sports event that she was supposed to be at. And as the detective or the deputy was doing a thorough investigation and really just asking all of her friends where she could be, if they knew who she was talking to, one of her friends did disclose that she was meeting an adult male or a male from the internet at a local hotel room. And really what I wanted to talk about tonight is just emphasizing the importance of open communication with your kids. If they have access to the internet, if they are using school-issued devices, or if you are allowing them access through either cell phones, tablets, computers, whatever that looks like, you need to start having these conversations, or if you've already had them, keep them going, because it's super important that children are reminded of these dangers, and that if you are having these open communications, they're going to feel more comfortable coming to you. Say somebody does approach them online and invites them to meet up. That is definitely one of the conversation starters that I share in educating parents, is that at a certain age, you definitely need to talk about how they should never meet somebody online in person. And if you have the conversation once, then if you know kids, it's in one ear and out the other. It's definitely something that needs to stay forefront in their mind. And that the only way that's going to happen is if you keep having these conversations. I also encourage to be looking through the devices on the regular basis. And that really just opens up the opportunity to have these conversations. If they know you're going to be looking through their device, if they're like my child and ask why every time, even though I tell them why or I tell them why, they need to keep being reminded of the importance of why you're checking the device, what could possibly happen, and not for a reason for them to hide anything from you, but more of just having that open dialogue, and making sure it's something that they feel comfortable talking to you on the regular. And as they get older, it's going to be something that they just know that they can come to you and talk to you about, because they're going to be facing different approaches or different dangers as they grow up. So when they're younger, it might look more like a cyberbullying, and then as they get older, if they're asked for naked images or if they're asked for specific details about themselves, then if the conversation started young, then they're always going to be mindful to make these safer choices. And knowing they can come to you if something comes up and it just doesn't feel right. And that we're teaching them to really trust their instincts at a very young age. Now, with these two teens that did come home, I am just so thankful for that, and knowing that that's not always the case. So make sure that you're having these conversations, that you're learning about what your school is actually monitoring on your child's device, and to, again, continue to check their electronics. And if it really comes to the point where you need to have a parental monitoring app, then I encourage that as well. Because if the kids know, not that they're trying to be deceitful on purpose, but if they know you're going to be checking their device, then they might try to hide things from you. The great thing about a parental monitoring app is that it captures things in real time, and then it notifies you as the parent that something inappropriate is happening. Some of these apps actually use artificial intelligence to capture grooming type conversations, and it will alert you as the parent that something just doesn't look right, and they will send you the conversation in real time. So to me, that's a peace of mind that in case you do miss something in the history search, or if you're just going through photos and maybe they've deleted something, you can't ever know what's going on in real time. You're only capturing what you're seeing in that moment, and if they did or didn't delete something. So those are just some of the tips I wanted to share with you. Again, if you have not seen these news articles, make sure you check them out. I shared one in our Inside the Post, and then on our stories again today, there's some other information on the newest case. And, really having the conversations with your kids about when it's okay to tell secrets, like share secrets, and when it's okay to, keep them a secret. I know dealing with kids, when I would give the presentations in schools, they'd come up to me, and I just got a feel for what's really going on in their minds. And they're always afraid that they're going to make their friend mad if they were to report something. And I always like to leave the presentation reminding them that, would you rather your friend be mad at you and alive, or would you want to live with knowing you had this information and they never returned and you never told anybody. And it's not a matter of a scare tactic. We had a young lady who was abducted, lured out of her home by a guy that she had met online, and they purposefully lured her to her death. And some of her friends knew that she had a boyfriend. They knew that she met him online. They didn't really know his age or anything like that. But if we're having these conversations, then the friends, like kids, have instincts. And so if we teach them at a young age to really be in tune to them and to trust them, then that's really going to follow them through life and really just set them on the right path of making positive and safe choices throughout. So I hope this has helped you. Maybe some of the tips are something that you can do tonight. And if you need some conversation starter ideas, then make sure you go through some of the posts. There's some inside of our profile that we've shared. And if you ever have any questions, or if you think this is worth sharing with somebody, please share the broadcast. And if you have questions, you can drop them below, or you can always send us a message and we will make sure that it gets answered. We are here to continue to empower you as the parents to really just be aware of what's going on and the dangers out there, and how you can take back control and really empower your child to make these safe choices so that they can just grow up and be kids, right? That's all we want for them. So again, thanks for watching, and we will catch you next Tuesday at 8 p.m. EST here at Safe Surfing. Have a great night.